If you watched last week's video, you know that this week's video we're going to be talking about why exactly you need to stay away from processed foods. Other common names for sodium nitrate are 63994, nitrate of sodium, cubic nitre, estabisulfite, nitronine, sodium nitrate, sodium saltpeter, nitrate of sodium. We can never talk about nutrition without identifying the huge elephant in the room, and that's food labels. Between calculating your daily intake of sugar and salt, being able to identify the various names for monosodium gluconate, MSG for short, it can get very confusing. Because of all of the health problems and the health risks that are associated with so many things that we simply take from off our supermarket shelf, I want to share in this video exactly how to decode food labels, dismissing the common narrative about health, and answering important questions about sugar. Let's get started. In order to live in your best body, you need to understand what works for it and what's working against it. When you go to the supermarket and you take up something off the shelf, you might be shortchanging yourself, and here's why. The first one is this, that just because a food item says contains no preservatives doesn't mean it contains no preservatives. In fact, if sodium nitrate, for example, is being used as a flavorant, guys, sodium nitrate is a preservative. If it is being used as a flavorant, then the food package can say contains no preservative. And that's why it's important to read your food labels, especially the ingredients. When a food item says contains whole wheat, if it is not within the first two items on the ingredients, walk by, just continue walking. In order to understand your food labels, you have to first be reading them. And there are certain things that, food companies do get away with because consumers are ignorant. Here's why. Something that looks attractive to a consumer who wants to lose weight perhaps says, perhaps we'll take a look at an item that says low fat. But guess what? Things that have low fat content tend to be tasteless, especially if you're used to that kind of food. And so in order to still get that oomph in flavor, they increase the sugar content, which can be very dangerous. Sugar is added to almost 75% of most foods found in the supermarket. 75%. And if we're only supposed to be intaking a certain amount of sugar, it means that if we're not paying attention to our food labels, it means that we could be drinking or eating more than the amount of sugar we're thinking. And we know sugar is very dangerous. In fact, according to the American Hospital Association guidelines, most men should consume no more than 150 discretionary calories of sugar per day. This is equivalent to 38 grams or 9 tablespoons of sugar. Women should use no more than 100 discretionary calories of sugar per day. This is around 25 grams or 6 tablespoons of sugar. What happens if you eat too much sugar one day? This means that one sugary drink a day can already put you over the recommended daily limit for added sugar. Consuming too much added sugar increases heart disease risk factors such as obesity, high blood pressure, and inflammation. High sugar diets have been linked to increased risk of dying from heart disease. And to make things even worse, sugar is being disguised in various ways in our food packages. Sugar is hiding in so many different names. And if you look on your food labels and any one of these names pop up, know that it's sugar. And guys, one of the most common narratives is that, boy, all this information don't make sense because something must kill me anyways. When you are an informed consumer, guess what? Yes, something must kill you anyways, but you have yet to experience what it feels like to be on your dying bed looking up and wishing you had been more aware and have been more educated about what you put inside your body. We literally at times are digging our grave with our teeth. Death is not something that must happen at a young age, and we as consumers have the power to determine what we put inside our bodies. So instead of saying something must kill me anyways, let's start to say, I am a consumer and I have the power to change the world. Because guess what? When people were being mindful of fat and because a bad picture was being painted of it, food companies started to say low fat. And so if we simply recognize that we're having too much sugar, then they'll be forced to decrease the amount of sugar. The truth is, we are consumers and we have the power to change the world. So let's do it. As we become more aware of what it takes, let's identify the elephants in the rooms that are affecting our nutrition, because there are so many, guys. And then one of the things that I really want us to do on this channel is to share this information with other people who you know need it, because there are many women suffering from all manner of diseases that they don't have to, men as well. And that's because what we put inside our bodies is often what we get out. And so it takes 15 years, remember that, to develop a disease. What are you developing with your lifestyle today? Let's be mindful of that and let us become the consumers that choose wisely. We are informed about how many grams of sugar we're getting, and we try to reduce it as best as possible. The point is, the reason we need to stay away from processed foods as best as possible is that we cannot put our trust in what food labels are telling us, because the truth is they want people to buy their products. But what we are sure of is that when we buy an apple, the only ingredient in the apple is an apple. And even then, you really have to be mindful nowadays. But otherwise from that, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed the nutrition series. There's so many more aspects to nutrition, but that's all I could touch on in this episode. In the next episode, I will be focusing on nutrition. I really hope that you guys start reading your food labels. That would mean the world to me. Let me know in the comments down below, and I pray that you will have a superb week. Thank you again for watching, and remember to subscribe and leave a thumbs up. See you in the next one.